Hello and good evening. Sorry, I was literally cutting it down to the fine wire there. I was kind of typing something out and I got down. Well, good evening and welcome to another Saturday night of Shadow Whispers in the Night. Joining me tonight is the fabulous Sarah from Portal to the Paranormal. Welcome, my girl. Thank you for joining with me tonight.
Hi,
Sarah,
thanks for having me.
thank you for being here. This is our first show we're doing together. It's going to be fun.
Really excited.
It's going to be fun. Tonight, we have a fantastic guest with us. I think he's an absolute gem. It is Greg Kos. I'm going to read out a little bit of his bio. Greg Kos is a veteran of war in Vietnam, 1971 to 72, and retired US CG captain. He found at an early age that he was psychically, am I saying that right for me, Sarah?
Psychic.
Yes, psychic, intuitive. I just can't read tonight. I'm sorry. I do it every week. And able to hear spirits. He is a psychic medium, empath, and paranormal investigator. His abilities led him into the realm of ITC. He's currently a member of Shadowhunters Paranormal Investigators and Events, a Warren Legacy Foundation and Ghost Research Society. He is a host of his own podcast, Shadow Hour Podcast, and Metaphysical Crossing, as well as a researcher. He is also a co-host on Perfectly Normal Paranormal Communications. He has a great amount of experience in the investigatory field of the paranormal and is a favorite guest on many shows. And he is, because I've watched his shows and I love his work. But I am going to bring fabulous Greg Kos on now to join us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, Jen. Good evening, Sarah.
Hi.
Good evening.
Great to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We're running around all day. I'm excited now to finally have you on the show.
It is. It's just really, it's another one of those little pinnacles, you know.
Yeah.
Another peak.
I love that you love ITC. I love ITC. I love all of it. What is that your most favorite part of investigations is ITC?
I went that way probably 7 years ago, and it happened at Gettysburg.
Oh, wow.
And it was at a spot that sort of was a turning point for me, not only in the paranormal, but also with my gifts, as far as actually feeling them. The spirits were all around me, and they were all, what happened was I was on a place that was called the Triangular Field, and I was halfway down the hill, and the people that were using the spirit box up on top, you could hear them plain as day making their response. Oh, it said this. And you know, that's not the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it like one-on-one or two-on-one rather than a group of 7 or 8 all screaming different responses. And you know, there was no coordination to it up there. So as I was getting into this, I explained to them who I was and that I was a veteran, and I came to say hi to them, and it was starting to get really dark.
Aye.
And I was right at the tree edge where they came out of during the battle. All the Confederate soldiers were in the woods, and they came out and they had to charge up this big hill. And I says, I came to say hello and see if I can help you, and if there's anything that you need, you know. And I held out my hands, and they were all around me. I don't know how many there were, but it was the sensational feeling that I had at that moment sort of made me start to understand it's more on a 1-by-1 or a very, you know, and the only business really that was going on, Anthony, was all the ITC experiments and you know, spirit boxes and Estes method, and it let me down the road where I, in my mediumship, as far as my development was concerned, I was looking for a path.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened after all that came down was I was watching a roundtable discussion with probably 3 or 4 of the biggest people in the United States as far as an ITC was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all sitting there, and I had experienced something that happened on a spirit box during a double Estes with my partner, where there was a ticking on the white noise, and it wasn't Morse code. It was a tick, 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 that was up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened maybe 3 or 4 times. And then we were at an investigation out in Iowa, and we were down in a furnace room, and it started up again. Like whatever it was like, at first I thought, is it following us around? Are we tuned in? Are we tuned in to their level now?
Mm-hmm.
So it happened. My partner bailed out, and I said, okay, advance 2 months. Here I am watching this roundtable discussion. And I said, I write in the comments, I says, I want to know. And I described what happened as far as it being a ticking. And, this has gone on quite a few times. And I was wondering, what's your thoughts? Does this have something to do with space? And they read the comment out loud, and there were like 2 of them. They were on opposite sides of the table, and they started to smile. And they were smiling, and they says, isn't this what Frank was all about? Dealing with Frank Sumption. And, I don't, who Frank Sumption is. He's the father of the spirit box.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has a book, and, he got his idea about doing a spirit box off the cover, an advertisement that was in Popular Science or Popular Mechanics magazine back in the day. I can remember seeing it. So it was a long time ago. Well, he took that and he wrote in, and they sent him the design plans for a communication device for communicating with space people.
Really?
So now I have all these idiosyncrasies. All these things are tying together all the way down the line that are leading me in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I says, if this is the case, then if I keep on doing ITC experimentations, this is going to lead me to be able to talk to my guides.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's where this went. So I've been doing it ever since, and we do quite a few sessions. And now with the shows that we have, like Metaphysical Crossing, I have groups of people. I have 2 people at each destination that are all part of a rotating group of people.
Yeah.
So, every Wednesday I'll have a different group of people, and we have different subject matters. And these people will be from, right now I have Minnesota, I have Missouri, I have Rhode Island up on the East Coast, and I have one more that's coming up that's going to join in the rotation. And it's usually 2 on 2. It's usually a double ghost box or double Estes session that goes on between 2 people. And we do it for 20 minutes. Sometimes we'll push it to 25. There's been people that say don't go any more than 15. And if you have no real experience at doing it, don't exceed 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good thing.
Especially if you're new to it.
Right. Exactly.
And I think people have to learn how to take you out from it. I remember doing the Estes method, first time ever. The guys were doing it and it was fine. It was okay. And then I said, right, I'll do it next. I literally went into a proper trance. I could have fallen asleep. And when I listened to the playback, the guys were saying, Jenny, you were probably the one that gave the most accurate answers to the questions. The one thing was a trainee was on the team and said to one of the guys, take her out of it. I would take her out of it. She's a trainee. You don't do it. Leave me be. Do it nicely. We probably should have talked about it before we did it. Lessons learned. We live and we learn. So someone just hard on my shoulder. I literally leapt from the chair.
Right.
Let me tell you, I had the most horriblest headache, sick stomach. When I came home, I have a big black Newfoundland Akita mix. And I think it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, we got home, and I live 5 minutes from the location anyway. And he was staring at me. Now, he was staring at me. Sorry, my dog was snoring. He was staring at me. And I had visions in my head of him just attacking me because he's done it. He hasn't attacked me, but he's been a bit of an arse with other dogs. He doesn't give the warning sometimes. And he wanted up on my bed. So I'm like, come on, Riley. And I'm tapping my bed for him to come up. And then I'm looking at him and I'm rubbing his head. And then all I could see is his eyes just penetrating my eyes. And I'm like, this guy is going to attack me. But he wasn't, but he was going to attack me. And I'm like, am I spacing out here? Am I tired? I know when I get tired, but I don't hallucinate. And so I had to say, Riley, get off the bed, get off the bed, get off the bed. And he sits there at the side of my bed staring at me. And I'm like, oh my God, was I taken out by jolt? We didn't close it properly. What do you reckon, guys? What do you reckon?
Well, it does send you into a sort of trance state, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you do worry if you're letting anything in, but it's distinguishing what is actually spirit and what could be just the radio waves. You do have a distinctive voice come through when spirit comes through,
Right.
where you can tell the difference. I had a guest last night that we was doing the headphones and the blindfold as Esther's in there, and she's like, I can just hear radio stations. He goes,
You use one of these?
yes, yeah. And I says, you will know when you hear it. You will know it'll be a distinctive voice. It'll be a man's or a woman's or a child, but it will say very clearly what it wants you to hear. But it does all that, all them revvings, and it makes you disorientated as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I sort of channel. I've been channeling now for probably right after or that when we did that one with the ticking.
Do you prepare to channel? Do you prepare before you do the SS method?
Yes. You have to have the intention.
Okay.
You have to go ahead and set your intention to go ahead and communicate with spirit.
Yes.
You want to go ahead and have them use you as the conduit.
Yeah.
From which they're speaking. And halfway through, you'll think you did the lousiest Estes method ever. Okay. From what you remember. Okay. And the guy will have 2.5 sheets of paper.
Wow.
With words on it.
That's
and half of it's bantering back and forth between you and the other person that's sitting there across from you, and the other side. And it's something that, I am going to continue to do it until I find out all the answers.
I think it's fantastic. Myself and Louise on my team, we did the SS method, and I said, why don't we do it together? So her box was reverse and my box was forward. So the boys were asking, I said, whatever questions you ask, write them down. Whatever answers we give, put Jenny one page, Lou on the other page, write down what we're both saying. We were live doing it. So I looked back on the live because the guys were saying, Jen, Lou, your questions were within 4 seconds, our replies was the same reply within 4 seconds of each other. One of them, at least. A few of them made a lot of sense, the two of us doing it, to see if it would work with both of us. When I went back on the live, of course, a phone being a phone, I'm getting responses through my phone while on the live to the questions.
Exactly.
And I have everything written down in my recently deceased book from Beetlejuice. So I have, so when I watched the live, I put down the time and what was said, what question was asked, and so on. So you think you have it sorted. No, you don't. When you think you know what you're doing, no, because, right, we've got answers through the phone. Me and Lou are coming up with reasonably the same answers, not all of them the same, which is it's normal. But there was one bit when I was like, oh my God, because someone said, did you work here? And I said, yes. And 4 seconds later, Lou said, yes. And we're like, you can hear Alan go saying, wow. So that was really interesting for, say, 2 or 3 people to do it. And you do it as well, Greg, from country to country.
Right.
That's
we're gonna go ahead and do it all the way down to Australia now.
Oh, I'm so jealous. You should do Ireland and the UK as well.
I would love to have you guys do one.
Oh, we would so do it.
You see, and it's more or less, the longer the distances are, it seems to magnify not only your reception, but the responses, because there's so many now that know that we're not there to do anything wrong. We're there to communicate.
Yes.
And they're, they come across, we're going to be doing another experiment that's going to be 3 times what we're talking right now. And it's going to be done a little differently. And it's like, we don't know if it's going to work. But if it does, it's going to take that reception we were receiving and making it that much bigger.
Really?
And, then we know, I don't want to say we know them.
Okay.
But we get a real good idea
of
exactly who the same ones are.
Yes.
They come back in the groups, and with as far as my mediumship or my psychic mediumship, my guides and my techs and my operators, and setting up the room and having it set up, even when you do an individual, if you have it set up accordingly, the way it should be, you'll eliminate a lot of that mumbling in the back of the room, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Where if you hear somebody way back there, you can get them to bring them forward to say what they want to say. And it's tricky. It doesn't happen all the time.
Because it's interesting. Sarah, you've done the SS method?
We were doing it last night at Fort Whitley. We had one lady with the blindfolds and the radio going around, and there was 11 of us, and they were a family. Now, Fort Whitley is like 17th century fort. We had the redcoats there. Do you remember the redcoats? And it was used in Portsmouth to protect the coast. Yeah. And they had cannons there. And what was really strange, you've heard of the stone tape theory, haven't you?
Yes.
When you do something every day, this was a working environment. There were soldiers in and out. There were firing cannons, and we were asking questions to the lady that had the headphones on, and all these different names were coming through. But it was like there was even like gravel thrown at us, and one of our psychic mediums was saying, "Oh, they're walking backwards and forwards. They're doing their job." All these names were thrown out. Oh, he's got to load that. He's got to do this. And it was like they were running through us, doing their job, doing whatever they were doing. And we're just aware of us, but they were also just carrying on doing what they were doing at that time, which is really strange. I don't know. Can you guys relate to that? There was communication there, but it was like they were still living what they were doing as army men.
A lot of it's residual.
Yeah.
As far as the energy is concerned, I think, but I don't have all the answers either.
No,
nobody does. And that's the neat thing about this. We could always give our opinions on something.
Yeah,
but that's as far as it goes. And not being where you were at. It sounds like it would have been great to have been there.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And experience that, because that's the kind of thing that really carries you.
Yeah.
Lulu was saying, that was me, Jen. It was Facebook. I see you now, Lou. Lou is on Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers, our team. She said, that was me, Jen, about not thinking I make sense with what comes through. I strangely find the longer I'm listening, the more tuned in to it I get.
Yeah.
You know, we still have a far way to go. You know, if you go ahead and say you're going to start counting sand grains, you know, it's the same kind of basic thing. It's going to take a long, long time. And I don't know. All I know is it's in my heart, and it's something that I want to do. I want to be able. My whole thought was speaking to my guides.
Yeah.
As far as my spirituality, and everything else it's, you know, icing on the cake.
I'm learning how to do that, to speak to my guides. I'm learning how to do it. I kind of need them at the moment a lot. It's going to be a very tough year. This year is going to be a tough year. And I know that even before things happen. I do know that. And that's why I'm kind of learning. A good friend of mine, Gillian, now, she is not teaching me, but she's giving me the right steps to go towards to doing it, and sending me stuff, what to look up and so on.
It takes a long time to go ahead and put you on the path, and then you have to take your own time to follow that path until you run in to your first guide.
That's it. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And my friend Gillian said to me, Jen, I said there's always someone in my house. There is a man in my house, unalive, but he's in my house. I've heard him. I have him on audio recorders and so on. And we don't know who he is. We really don't know who he is. And he said my name on one show that I was on with Howard. Hopi with Howard, and you can hear it. I have the video of him saying my name and whatnot. And I agree with Amory. Different people bring different energy to every session. Yeah, some people go to a location and will get nothing. And as someone would say, it's not the location, it's probably the people, which is why they're not getting anything. I do believe that sometimes. Well, I know I've been to one location, we didn't get anything, but I put it down to they just don't want to talk to us today, which is totally fine.
When's the last time you were at a party and you had groups of people that were talking together, and somebody else comes across the room, and they go from, instead of coming to your group, they go to the other group. They don't know anybody.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. It's if they have an intention, and that's all they have.
Well, wasn't it Ed and Lorraine Warren that had this theory about the 28 days haunted, where spirit would be active for a certain amount of time and then it would just be quiet? So when you do go to a location, sometimes it's really active, sometimes it isn't. It just depends how the energy is growing.
The people that did that, the people that were involved in that production are all going to they're friends of ours, and they're all going to be at this Paracon we're going to have on April 22nd. And it's Aaron Thompson and his partner, Nick. I can't think of Nick's last name, but they're those people, and there's another group too, Big Red. It's just a bunch of real cool people, and they worked with me. Like probably 6 years ago, we did a town next door to us, and it was called Hunt the Town. And all the stores in the town are all from the 1880s, 1890s. They're all open and they're all different now. And so each one of these stores that had a reputation for having something that goes bump in the night, a couple investigators would go in. And we were in a bigger one, so there were four of us, and Aaron Thompson and his partner Nick were with us. So we were in the back and they were in the front, and then we rotated. But they had groups of people that bought tickets, and they would rotate through the town and go to every one of these spots. and experience what was going on in them. They were able to use our equipment and everything else.
Oh,
and if things happened, they got it. They were ecstatic. They just went absolutely bonkers, and it was that kind of night.
amazing.
So it's just things that happen that are really, really cool. And in your situations out by you guys, you could do the same thing, I imagine. And raise money for a charity or something like that.
We could. I mean, where I live as well, fantastic place. I mean, I know in the Drogheda Museum Millmount, where it's Emerald's Isle Paranormal Research's home base of locations. And in October, on the 6th of October, myself and Alan and my team will be doing we're not giving any of the names out just yet until we have all the posters done and whatnot, but we will be doing a talk and a projector screen and playing audio and playing videos of this location, that it is local to the town, to the Drogheda people. And they see it as, because of the history, Oliver Cromwell had come over and attacked Drogheda and attacked the Motala Tower and so on. And that museum area that used to be the British fort, army fort. So there's a lot of history to it. But I'll probably give that. Well, the name we might change it, tweak it a little bit. But it's basically unheard sounds of Millmount. So we're going to be playing the audio of what actually goes on inside the museum, what people have not heard. And it is a tourist museum, so it's to help them as well to get, that if anyone is into the paranormal or interested in this, it might boost it up a little bit more. But we will be given everything of not what you see in TV. What we play for you is what we think is good. And that was
a historical museum.
Yes, very, very historical. Oh my gosh, I'll fill you in about it. Oliver Cromwell is a soldier, a British soldier, and he was ordered to come over and attack Ireland. And he did. He attacked Drogheda, where I live. He attacked Wexford. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, that the Motala Tower or the museum that I'm always in, that's the place where he attacked, and I could walk to it. It's so close to me. Wow. So that's the place that we have been doing for the last 6 years, and it is exclusively to my team, but I think that's the way. Every team has their own location, and I just think less is more in that building, because we are researching a lot of different stories from that museum. So I do take guests in with me, but it's team and team only most of the time. Sarah and Nando are coming over to do it as well.
No, it'll be nice.
Yeah, so Sarah, do you do that? Do you do any of that too?
We've got. Well, no, we'd love to, but there's not really many like paranormal events in the UK, funnily enough, and it is a really good idea. There's so much that we could do. I mean, the history in Southampton, Hampshire, where I am, is immense. I mean, we've got down the road Netley Abbey, where have you heard of Florence Nightingale? There was a big hospital for World War I and World War II veterans. We've got a massive cemetery there with all people from all over the world, America, Canada, India, all buried in that cemetery. Oh. There's locations we can use, like I say, Fort Widley. That's another a lot of army stuff that happened in this area. And we've got so much history, and that is a real good idea. But we could get together with a couple of other paranormal groups and maybe do something like that not on the Festival of the Unexplained kind of scheme of things, but just like local groups, and that might be a good idea to maybe create something like that. Yeah, definitely. We've got locations coming out our ears, so
give the money to charity.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I think that would be brilliant, and it's and I think and I know when we did some of the nights in the museum, and people were in the kitchen area, and I was doing a call out, and I said, this is not going to be hit, crash, bang, throw a stone and run and scream. I said, it's pretty boring to the average person. What we do is pretty boring to the average person who does. We feed off it. We love it. But So other people are kind of like, well, I'm tired, I'm bored now. Well, buttercups, this is what we do all the time. You don't get paid for it. We're cold, we're hungry, we're tired, but we do.
They're not performing monkeys, are they? The spirit world, they turn up when they turn up. And even if you have a flat night, we always say to them, at least we're honest and we're true. And if something happens, then wow, it really does happen, and everyone gets excited about it. But if it doesn't, then you're not guaranteed anything at the end of the day.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's funny. Pamela, I was on an investigation of Edinburgh Manor, love it, in Iowa, where the same voice appeared to give intelligent answers in different areas of the building throughout the night on a spirit box. It was a distinctive male voice with a very clear speech pattern. Usually I just hear random radio chatter. That's awesome.
Oh.
That's brilliant. I'm laughing at Linda's question. Does Aidan often fall asleep? Yeah, sometimes. But I will give it to him as well. He lives up in the north of Ireland, and it's about an hour and a half drive down for him. So when he's finished work on a Friday or on a Saturday, he has to drive down an hour and a half down. So he's an engineer, so it's a pretty long day and a long job and a long drive coming down. And yes, we kind of give him the recliner to have a sleep. He needs a nap. So yeah, he does have a wee nap. But on the 25th of March, we're going to be back there, but we're doing a full night sleepover until 8 in the morning. And there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing that he's forgiven. I let him know he's forgiven.
Linda Judd.
Linda. Oh, that's Linda. This is Lauren. Hiya, Lauren. How are you? How are you doing today? Eric is not normal. There's a few pictures now, Greg, I'd like to show that you have given me today.
Okay.
You want to go over them?
Sure, we can go over them.
I just want
a lot of people haven't seen these,
Oh, really?
No. So there's some really interesting ones, and like I said, there's one in there on the video that's you could go ahead. A lot of people would go ahead and say it's pareidolia, but if I went ahead and told you what to look at in it, and it's not like it moves. I mean, it doesn't appear and then disappear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's there the whole entire time.
Oh, do you want me to play the video or do you want me to do pictures first? We can do either.
Do the pictures first.
Okay, let me get the pictures. Okay, here we go. This one is going to be, I kind of gave names to them, kind of like a shadow figure, but you can explain what they are. I'm going to give up the first one here now.
Okay, this one you can see on the far left-hand side. It's been outlined. It's a apparition of a nurse. And what's really crazy about this is this happened to be a nurse that was in a third floor part of a hospital that's called Old South Pittsburgh. And after she retired, she had no place to go to live. So they actually gave her this room to live in. The doctor that ran the hospital did. So this is in Tennessee. So this is, there's not a real overabundance of people. But anyway, besides the apparition, if you look down at the bottom, at the very bottom, you'll see a little white thing down there that looks like a cat's head.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you remember that, because we'll go through another one.
Okay.
That picture there was taken 5 years before this next one was, if it's in sequence.
I probably won't. Can you describe it to me? I might have it.
It's where the stairways are, and it looks like an apparition on the stairs.
I have it. I've named it down. Picture with stairs, because I gotta put them down. But I have it here. Hope it's the right one.
Okay, this one here. This happens to be the same nurse, and she appeared. I took about 30 pictures and fan casted them with an IR camera, and if you really go ahead and look at it, she's like looking down, and right in front of her at the base of her feet is the cat again.
It's the first thing I saw. Looks like a black cat.
Now that cat, once again, that first picture that was seen was taken 5 years before this picture was taken.
Wow.
And out of the pictures that I took the whole trip, I had like 140. Guess where this picture was? And it was almost halfway through all the pictures I captured. This picture was when I put it on my computer. This was on the last frame. So somebody actually moved it.
Oh my gosh. You can see her as if she's walking. Is she wearing like something white? Oh, she's a nurse.
Well, she's a nurse. She's a nurse.
She's a nurse, sorry.
Yeah. And she has a hat on. She has like a nurse's hat on.
Yeah. And I like this picture because then it just shows that animals are spirits.
That is an
I like that. I have a cabinet over there, and in that cabinet there's about 6 cremated animals in it. They're probably all I do. They're all, and one on top of it is another cremated pet of mine. So I do have a lot of cremated animals in my house. So I like to see that black cat.
So when you review your evidence,
yes,
that's what the point I would make would be that you have to review it all. Don't think that you've got so far and then you have nothing.
Totally. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
That's the thing about building or redoing like luxury apartments or apartments in historical buildings. You're disturbing what was there before. We got a hospital in West End called the Moor Green Hospital, and they changed it all around into these luxury apartments. Like, the amount of people that had died there, it was an old workhouse. It doesn't seem so luxury when you got something sat on the end of your bed, does it? It's like, geez. And I bet there is as well.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And even though if someone said to me, do I believe in the afterlife and so on and so on? And a lot of people would say, I do, but I don't, but I'm 50-50 and I'm skeptic. I'm going to point blank out flat say, my opinion, yes, I do.
Yeah.
It confuses me, but I do. And the pictures and everything else still kind of eats me up. I just don't know.
There's some amazing captions there. Definitely.
They're brilliant. I'm going to show up. Hi, Daniel. Yeah, that's deadly. That's what I like. Always look at the big picture when looking at photos.
Yeah.
I tell you, myself and Lou got a video. We can't make out what it is. We don't understand it, but I'll send it on to you, Greg and Sarah. I'll send it on to you and tell us what you think of it. Okay, the next one I'm going to put up for you is this one here. Okay,
this was at a place called the Elgin Casket Corporation or business, Elgin Casket. It's out in Elgin, Illinois. Now, this is something that I'm throwing up there for your opinions too. This was taken probably 4 or 5 years ago too. No, more like 3. You can see the casket up on the left. Yes. This place here manufactured the casket, the second casket for John F. Kennedy when they ruined the first casket.
Oh my God.
Getting it on the airplane when they left Dallas because they were in such a hurry to get him out of there. And this is where that one was made. But this was in an area. I had meters going off. I had K2s. I had Paralogics 360. It's a Periscope 360, and they were going off. And I just started taking these pictures, and these were almost like fireflies.
Oh,
that weren't in the picture, but they're there. And I took about 3 different pictures, and they were all in the picture. Yeah. So it was almost like an energy bursts, or something that was.
I actually thought at one point, Greg. Sorry, that there was a figure outline.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just pareidolia. I don't know. But I thought the first thing that I saw was like a figure from the top, like a head round to the neck, down to the arm, and then you can see a leg. And maybe that's just the way those little things are going. That's what I kind of thought it looked like. The top part is the head,
Crazy.
neck, arm, and leg going down.
They turned this place into a haunted attraction too.
Oh gosh.
So it's goes on and on and on like that. So
Great pictures.
But that one there, it's not at the caliber of some of the ones that I've seen that other people do. It's positive. It's definitely positive now for the amount of times I've been there. In the beginning, it wasn't positive, and that's before it was turned over. And Ronnie D picked it up, and he's a friend of mine from up here, and they cleaned it up. And now you walk in it, you think you're in a real hospital. Before it was just trashed, absolutely trashed.
Really?
But that's why the negative spirits were there.
Okay. Oh, well. Because, great. Eric can see. He knows what I'm talking about. Linda's saying, does the head look like a cat's head? Which one, Linda? The picture I just put up? There's another one. I'm interested in this one here. I'm going to put it up now for you. This one.
Okay. This is one of my guides. And her name is Carol Lombard, who was a American movie star who died at the beginning of World War II in an airplane, and she was married to a gentleman by the name of Clark Gable. She is one of my guides. If you see her normally, you do not see her with brown hair. Now, the story behind this is a little lengthy, but it's pretty cool. I had another friend, and when you go through on Facebook and you see a picture and you think, I know that person from somewhere, and you go down and I was trying to figure out where I would know him from. Yeah. And underneath there were these pictures. And I looked down and I went and I saw the white rabbit and I saw her. And I thought, why do I know this woman? And you will see in the descriptions, not here today, but I found out that happened to be her before she really hit it big in Hollywood. And when she hit it big in Hollywood, her hair was really short and it's curled, and she's like a boop boop be doop type of lady. But that's how I found her.
Gosh.
Because all I had on her was a picture of her with the short hair, and it was like, and we would talk, and I'd go, "You got to change your hair a little bit."
Did you say that to her?
Yeah, I did.
What did she say back to you?
She's a special lady, She's fine. She's fine with it. She
is a cutie.
She told me she told me.
Let me have a wee look at her again.
She is. She's gorgeous.
It's very, very.
But the thing that really, before I even saw her, is I saw the white rabbit.
Oh my God!
Now about white rabbits, right?
No.
Well, you remember the song "White Rabbit"?
Oh.
Back in the day.
No. Mm-mm. No, what was it?
Gracie Slick. It was. I can't think of the name of the band. Somebody put the name of the band up there.
Let me see if I can retrieve it.
It was the name of the song was White Rabbit.
Oh.
And at that particular time, we were doing strange things, and you remember things like that.
Oh, here we go.
Jefferson Airplane. Thank you, Linda.
Linda.
That was an American band, and that was one of the ones that was fighting against all of your, you had the Beatles and Rolling Stones.
I will listen to that song later.
White Rabbit.
White Rabbit.
It's a classic. and you can hear her bolt it out.
Greg wants a new hairdo for Carol.
She's got a new hair. I want her to keep that hair.
She
Grow
has
it back and don't dye it anymore or whatever you're.
Oh my God. I do it all the time.
No, she's marvelous.
There's another one here as well. There's a few here that I'm loving. This one here.
You can hardly see him. He's on the left-hand side. Some people would say pareidolia.
Oh, I see that.
You can see the basketball on the court. This was taken at Joliet State Penitentiary.
Okay.
It's a penitentiary in Illinois that they closed down, and there was a lot of bad things that went on here.
I can imagine.
And in this particular, where I captured this, I was taking pictures of all this. You know how they do that stuff on the walls with the spray paint can, graffiti, and it was all around, and they had big heads and big eyes would come out of them and things like that.
Oh.
And we were standing there, and I had my camera on the tripod, and I started taking a few pictures, and all of a sudden I was with another person from my group, and she says, look at this mist.
Oh.
And this mist rolled in. You can't see the other side of the basketball court. This mist came in, and inside this mist is this guy with real long legs. You can see his arm come down. You can see like a big butt, right? He's like bent over, and you can see him. He's sort of staring down at the basketball. Now, there's somebody else that told me there's more than one head here.
Oh.
So, this picture is in a book that a close friend of ours went ahead and did on Pontiac.
Eric said, "I can't." Can you see him now, Eric? Can you see him?
No, it's on the left-hand side.
I can't see him. No, sorry. Oh God, I need new glasses. No, I can't see him. The reason why
you could say that exactly.
Yeah.
But that's why I put them up too, is because there's other people that can go ahead and have an entirely different opinion.
Well, that's it. We have another one. This one here. I like this one.
Oh, that's the same guy. Now you can see him a little better here.
Yeah.
And you can see the opposite wall.
Yes.
Of the basketball court. So you can see what I was saying about how heavy that mist was that rolled in.
Yeah.
And it's an enclosed location. There's no openings.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Now you can see him a little better, but you just can't see the head.
Yes.
And I put that on there too because I had three different pictures that I saved, and this is one of the ones that I didn't really like at first.
Okay.
Because it was a smaller picture. It was.
That's quite.
As you can see, you can see by the bottom here too. This came off my computer screen. Okay, and as I loaded them, I was trying to shoot them because I had to get them to a meeting.
Yes.
And I didn't have any way of going ahead and sending them because I wasn't very fluent as far as doing that.
A great picture. They're fantastic pictures.
Yeah.
These
there's some.
Yeah.
There's a few in there.
That mist is crazy.
Yeah.
It was.
But isn't it brilliant when you see something like that and you know it shouldn't be in that building, but it is, and then you're thinking it's like Ghostbusters. We got one.
Yeah.
You know that
you just start shooting.
Yeah. And we ever be that person that would run away from or walk to or run to?
Oh, I'd have a look at it, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. We had mist in a room once above us, and all of us in the group were just looking at it. It was like, part of Simon when he's moving around to the chandelier, we was looking up at it, on Tyler's, think, what the bloody hell's that? You try and debunk it, don't you? But then you think, it shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Would you run?
We didn't do it, did we?
No.
No. Would you run towards something, Greg, or would you walk away from it and just say, "Well, geez," because I know it.
I've been known to run to it.
Well, that's what we're there for. I remember being in a location, and when things got heavy in this location, someone would say, "We have to leave now. We're going to leave. We're going to leave," and I'm like, "That." We are here for this, but when things get hot and heavy, you want to leave, have a coffee, see you later. Why are you leaving when something is happening? Blows my mind.
The only time that I didn't go ahead was at that same hospital, Old South Pittsburgh. It was in the beginning. This is when all the dark stuff was going on.
Right.
And I was going down this hallway, and I went by the nurse's desk. And as I went by the nurse's desk, it sounded like dog claws going across the tile floor, and it was growling.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks later, I was sent a picture, and I don't have that picture. It's on my phone somewhere. I can't find it. But they do have it down there at Old South. And it was like a creature that had come out and was looking down the hallway that had a head bigger than the dog's head, but basically a dog's body and these huge paws.
Oh,
it was all black.
I think it was like an elemental.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I have no clue. When I looked at that picture, I said, because there were bad things happening to people there that were investigating and things like that. So we've talked about it, and the only thing that I've been told is that they've left.
Like a hellhound or something.
They've left. Yeah, exactly.
It's Jeremy Leonard when you need him.
Huh?
Where's Jeremy Leonard when you need him? He's a demonologist, isn't he? He'd be right in there.
The thing with me would be I would have to go and see it.
Yeah.
Because it's an animal. And that's my weakness. That's what's going to get me killed or in trouble. Because it's a bloody hound from hell.
Hellhound.
Or the Dartmoor Panther or whatever, or the American werewolf. That's what's going to get me killed. It's not a poltergeist or a demon. It's going to be a hound from hell.
Just going down, just going down the corridor and it's pitch black is enough. Let alone run into something that's actually darker than the hallway.
That you can see black against black. Yeah.
Darker.
Red eyes or anything.
Yeah. Eric would try and pet it. I know what you're saying. Yeah, you see? We're in trouble.
Bite your fingers off.
I have a Chihuahua here. I can face any dog. She's lovely.
Marie Young's here. That's awesome.
Look at Mr. Petrie's in the house.
Look at he's here.
Didn't you? He is.
Hey, Howard.
Still doing research, Howard. I'm still doing research. Me and Lulu are doing research. There's a question here that I want to ask you as well. Linda was saying, Amy Allen used to say, keep the animals off the set because they distracted to no end. I know. Linda saying, Greg, was that a wolf you described?
I have no idea what it was. I would say exactly what the ladies are saying, that it's probably was like a hellhound type figure that was there, and it was part of the darkness that was there. It comes in different apparitions, different shapes and sizes, and some of them go across the ceiling. And
love you, Mr. Petrie. Still doing me work for you.
Howard was on my show last night.
I saw it. I know it was a great show. It was emotional, and it was a great show. I seen it. Yeah, I did. And my goodness, no matter how many times you hear Howard's story, it's just God, there's a lot of things I think about it. It's hard for him to live it,
And it's a way that I'm sure that he's mending himself. and at the same time, it's good for everybody else to remember that they have to love everybody that they know. And if you got to say it and then be rejected by saying it, so be it. So be it. I don't care. I did my side, you know.
Yeah, if you don't try, you don't know. If you don't try, you don't know. And I'm kind of going through that at the minute, making amends with people. And it's can I say shit? It's shit. It's a bloody horrible moment. Holy God. Anyhow, yes, it was a fantastic show, and I love Howard. And I you know, you can get the serious Howard, and you can get the very fun Howard, and the other Howard. But yeah, I love being on his shows as well. Gosh, I was going to say back in the days, probably last year or the year before. Amory, yeah, it hurts my heart.
She's a great lady.
Oh, Amory's watching now.
She's part of our Dark Horse Paranormal family.
Oh, Amory's been watching here a few times now. Let me see. One more picture I want to put up before I put the videos on, because I know you have half an hour left. Okay. So this picture here, Greg.
Oh, that's just an advertisement.
That's your poster.
For Metaphysical Crossing. That was the very first picture that we did. That's all that is.
Like I stated last night, I wear many hats. Yes. No.
We love you, Howard.
We do. We sure do. I've seen half of Louisiana because Howard would bring me in a tour guide when he's out in the car. He goes, Jenny, look at this place, look at that place. I've seen Louisiana before I even go over. And I said, well, if it's going over for his wedding, if you can't find me, I'll be down in the swamps trying to pet a crocodile.
No, don't do that.
I would try it.
You'll be on his back. Rodeo.
My cowboy hat. I love you, Howard.
You didn't even know that I was at Fort Polk, Louisiana, because that was Tiger Land, and that's where everybody trained.
Oh my God!
For Vietnam, but that was an absolute hellhole.
Oh, is this in Louisiana?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you, and I love you, Howard. Eric, I don't even know you, Howard, and I love you. And did you train in Louisiana? Did you say you trained in?
My first part of my training was in Louisiana. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. And you know, I played football and everything, and there were some guys in there that had no clue. And if you guys seen that movie Full Metal Jacket,
yeah. My gun.
That was it. Okay.
Oh
so
my God.
I was one of the guys that was like, I was a squad leader, and we had a screw up in our squad. It was very close to what happened with the other guy, but he didn't kill himself. But they only had him one night because he was screwing up so much. So, but that's not paranormal.
When you was in Nam, did you experience anything paranormal? Because you were surrounded by a lot of death, wasn't you?
I was in Thailand, and I would fly in because I worked at the APO, which was the post office. So I had a pilot that would bring me into fire bases and drop me. Sometimes he would leave and then come back later to get me. But some of these places, how could you say, it's like going ahead and landing on a hornet's nest. It's not a good thing to do. So, you know, you would be counting your minutes and looking at your watch. But every place you went, they would always go ahead and have a beer, and they'd pull the Freon out just so they could chill the beers for us when the mail came in. That's how, it's like a little mini celebration.
Oh my. I didn't know you trained in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Good Lord. What's this one here? There is a movie called Tigerland with Colin Farrell. He's Irish. He's Irish. Yeah.
That was Tigerland.
Do you know what? Can I say something, Howard? I laughed last night when I watched the show, and you said your daughter Jessica called her son Liam. It's a frickin' Irish name. It's not Louisiana. And I was watching, I was like, okay, Jessica. She called her son Liam. It was not a frickin' Irish name. It's not a Louisiana name. Very funny. I did see that. I did. Oh, wow. Thank you for your service, Greg. Absolutely. I just thought it was very, yes, Howard, I did see that bit. Liam's fantastic name. And I knew when you said Liam, I was like, that's Irish. I was like, it's okay. It's a good game, good name.
Most of the Irish populated America, so could have been descendant. Everyone's Irish. Even I've got Irish in me, and I'm Asian.
I know you're 10% Irish, aren't you? You're 12%
Yeah,
Irish.
10% Irish.
Oh, sister.
Get everywhere, you guys.
Listen, yes, we're probably everywhere, but it's the Irish month. We have St. Patrick next weekend. It's going to be a great weekend.
Guinness and blackcurrant all round.
Guinness and black. No, that's blasphemy. Guinness and blackcurrant.
I like it.
It's just Guinness. I do like Guinness. I love a Guinness.
Good for you.
I tell you. I'm going to have to start teaching Irish. We'll teach you Gaelic. I'm 12% Irish too. I didn't know I was going to do a show next weekend. I know Friday night. It's Friday is St. Patrick's Day, and here I am going through my book now on this live. Oh no, Saturday night we have Unexplained, Sarah.
Oh
yes, we do with Nando. Nando, I know, Sarah's husband. And he
is Nando really your husband?
Yep, Ferdinando Desario.
Yes, he's really a cool guy.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's all right.
Sometimes, but he's fabulous. Listen, I know about Jenny and Greg, but I need to meet Sarah. Sarah is from Portal to the Paranormal, and Nando Desario, Sarah Desario in the UK. Amazing, fantastic people. They're my best friends here. You are, but you are.
You, Jenny.
I love you. Oh my God, we're having a moment. I want to play very quickly the videos. Let me see. So I don't know what's on them, but we watch them and then you can explain what's happening after it. So let me see if I can get this right. Let me see if I can get this right. I'm sure I can. Bear with me. I have the first one here coming. I hope I do it right. Let's see, guys. Let's see. Has it done anything for me?
Doing something.
Okay, now this is, you can't enlarge that any, can you?
It will in a second. It might. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to play it.
I'll explain what it is.
Okay.
And this happens to be at a place that's called Poasttown Elementary. It's in Ohio, and now you can see below. You can see where it is on the timeline, right?
Right.
And this particular doll that's sitting on this chair, this is a plastic, like a plastic school chair. Now you see the instrument that's in front of it. That's an Eddy Plus meter, and it's in a rubber case, so it doesn't slide. Okay, now if you go to that, you just take your this is the beginning. If you take your cursor, and what you could do is go onto the dot, and you could advance a little bit, but pay attention where that meter is compared to where the doll's leg is.
Do you want me to fast forward it?
There, you see it move? Now watch. It's gonna not really.
I'm gonna bring it back a wee bit.
Yeah, and do it again, and just do it a little slower.
Okay. Let me just bring it back a wee bit more.
From the dot. No, I think it's advanced. This was before.
Okay, I can.
You're coming up to it now.
Yep.
But you could just jump on the dot with your cursor.
Oh, I seen that. I seen it move. Yeah.
It's going to move more too.
Okay, I'll play it again. I'll keep it going. I'll keep it going.
Like I said, just go right to that dot on the timeline, and then take it up a little bit at a time until you see it move again. You see it move?
Again. Yeah, that move. I'm going to bring it back so we can see it move.
All right, move back.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's going to move again.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Now, I was viewing this for evidence, and this location, this is a room is called the doll room, and there's little kids in here.
Okay.
And what they were doing was they were trying to get to the doll. They couldn't get from the other side. They were trying to move the machine out of the way, and so that's why it was moved that way. It took a total amount of time of 37 minutes to move that doll.
Really?
On that chair. It actually moved almost 11 and a half, 12 inches.
Jeez.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Oh, look, Evan saw it move. Yeah, that's quite good.
There's some people in here that have never seen this either.
Thank you for sharing that with us. That's brilliant. We love to see videos like that. And there's a video I want to send you, Sarah, and Nando, and have a wee look at it for me.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that happens that when it does, you sit there and you look at it, and it was like you could have very easily have gone through that whole entire video and not saw anything.
And miss it.
But I saw the very tip of her foot, and then the machine, and then I sort of advanced a little bit, and then I saw more of her foot, and I went, wait a minute. So then I went back, and this is all me going ahead and taking it right off the computer screen because I got so damn excited I had to go see somebody and show it to them.
Yeah, you would. That was brilliant.
I my fire. I know when I have a video from Lep Castle, and it's like a plastic bag and a brown paper bag sitting on a chair, and everyone was upstairs on the second floor of Lep Castle. But there was a huge fire lit, and you can see bit by bit by bit by bit, you can see the bags kind of going sideways and sideways and sideways and sideways. And then it falls eventually. Nobody's in that room. I have my fabulous, fantastic body camera set up, but I'm putting it down to the heat of the fire. That's what, because we're back again on the 29th of April. We're going to be in Redwood on the 28th and then Lep Castle on the 29th. So we're doing 2 castles for the weekend. We are going to be pretty tired, but I have fresh meat with me. I do love fresh meat. These are people who's never done an investigation before.
Sounds like you're going to eat them or something.
Yeah. Why don't you reenact that with the bags?
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to do it. And there's so many, I keep putting my glass on and off. I'm seeing, I can't see. There's so many things. I like when you have a lot in one location, I like to get pen and paper and write down rooms I want to do instead of kind of like where we would go now, what will we do? Plan the night out and then roll with it, whatever happens, because there's a lot of rooms in that castle that is fantastic. I'm going to go to the other, what did Linda say? The fresh meat tour. I call them fresh meat because they've never done an investigation before.
Or new fish.
Fresh meat.
New fish.
I like to scare them and say fresh meat. Fresh meat. And get them on location. And they've never done it before. And they're kind of, they are a little bit apprehensive and nervous. But I mean, that's my fun part of the night.
It is.
Shouldn't say that, but I do. Okay, let me get the second one up. I'm winging it here, so I hope I'm doing it right. Okay, let me see what I'm doing, guys.
This will be the test for the pareidolia people.
Ooh, okay. Linda, I'm still a new fish and I haven't done an investigation. Come over to Ireland. Come over to Ireland. Come
I
over to
don't,
the
we
UK.
don't want anybody throwing any rocks at us, okay?
Okay. Okay, so let me share this. Look at me. I'm learning how to do this whole share screen thing.
You're awesome.
You're
You're absolutely amazing, Jen.
Probably going to I'm winging it. I just have to make sure all my files are closed and I don't break the wrong one. I'm going to press this now and make sure. Hopefully it's the right one, but we should. Oh, I think it is. It is. So let's do this one here.
I think it's only 2 of them.
Yep, I have the second one here ready to go.
Now, what you're looking at is you're looking at bars on a cell, and about halfway through this picture, you're starting to look down the cell block itself. This isn't coming out right, but there it is. There it is. Okay, keep it right there.
No, we can hear.
Okay.
We can see.
Oh, is that a face?
Okay, now you see on the right hand side. Now,
okay.
When I played
Can
this
I bring
video,
it back a bit?
No, then you lose them. Then you lose them. There he is. To me, he's on the right hand side.
Yeah,
that was me. And below the head, it appears that, you know how the crossbar goes in the jail cell. It looks like his hands were hanging out. And
wow.
I caught this, and when I played the whole, there you can see all the way down. That's the end of the cell block down there. There's a shower room down there. But this guy, I had a camera set up right there, and what I was doing is I was shooting down the corridor, and I had left it. And because there's a lot of activity that goes on in the shower room.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But this guy here, and now you can hardly see him again, but
I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to bring it back to the very beginning.
And then you can just stop right there. You can see to me his head.
You're going to have to guide me a little bit. Am I looking at the darker side or the front?
Did you see the face or not? I did.
I think I did.
On the right. It's on the far right-hand side. You can see it now, almost a little shadow up at the top. If you go ahead and say those almost claw type things that are coming down are his hands.
Yes, I do see it.
And then up from there. So now if you go back, just go back real easy.
That's kind of
starting to come up.
That's a bit freaky. It's like he's looking at the camera.
Now, when I originally caught this, when I played it, I could actually see his head move this way.
It's here. See, is that what I'm looking at?
You're looking at he's up there, but he's still very, very vague. It's very hard to see right now.
Let me see. Am I
right there? Yes.
Yeah. There and here's his hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
okay, now
he's moving as well. He moves.
Yes, his head moves.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this was told by there. Okay, there he is. Yeah. Now he's coming into view.
Yeah.
And just put it on hold. Now.
Yeah, it's on hold. Wow. There's his hand. Look at his finger. Look at his thumb.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of. Now, this is the best. This is the best frame for pareidolia to me.
Wow.
If you wanted to go ahead and disprove it, because you can almost see the bars behind him.
Oh yeah.
But that would happen too if he was an apparition, you know.
No.
He could be residual too.
Oh, he's looking at you, Greg.
Yeah, he is
looking at you.
Yeah, he's proper
looking.
But this was caught. This was Mansfield Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. This is one of the prisons that was known for a lot of the bad stuff that happened to prisoners. They closed down. We were there in 18, I think, something like that. And we did an overnight. And this tier that this is in, I had a picture. It goes up 5 stories. So there's 5 tiers that go straight up, and they're all iron. And if you remember the movie, what was it, with the space monster that kept on going from spaceship to not Predator, it's the one with Sigourney Weaver. Alien. I took a picture from way down at the end down here, and I was shooting up at the rest of the cell block just as it started to get dark, and it looked like something right out of Alien. Yeah. Now you can see his face again.
You can see it. I want to play the rest of it and watch him move.
They told me it was pareidolia.
No, let's watch the rest of it. Let's watch the whole lot of it and see. I just think it's great at the beginning, but let's see, because there's nothing there at the minute. Sorry, there's nothing there. Well, he's just faintly there, but
he just didn't show himself yet because he didn't stick his head out.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. There he moved.
Holy shit! I'm saying that, but my gosh.
Oh, hello.
Tilted.
There you are. Look at that.
Oh my god! Like,
there he is.
Look at his head back. Oh, he's bouncing. Oh, gee, hold on a second now. I've literally just got goosebumps. Sorry.
He's got a proper nose on him, hasn't he?
No. So now, if you could disprove this, Sarah and Jen, let me know, please.
Oh, let me tell you now.
Debunk it. You know, I
can't.
This was my first capture.
I think
with an IR camera.
First one, I'm a little bit jealous. That I watching the whole lot of that video. The beginning, vaguely see him, and then he comes out more. But coming to the end of it, I put my name on it. He turned his head, and you see him going back in. That's not pareidolia. I don't think that's pareidolia. Many probably will say it is. I don't think it is. What do you think, Sarah?
If only you had a heat sensor camera, you would have been able to probably pick that up really well. You know, that it would have been more clarification if you had a heat sensor camera as well. Yeah, no, it's good. You can see it. He's even moving in and out. That big old nod.
You can take your head. You can take your head and you could put it right up in those bars. Those bars are like 10 inches apart.
Yeah.
I had a little freak out moment there when I seen him turn his head and go back in. I'm going to play it one more time because I have to play it one more time. And then at the end of it, watch him bring his head back in. So let me get this again because I'm quite excited over this one. Oh my goodness.
There he is. Look at him having a good old butcher's there.
Watch him turn watch him turn his head and bring his head back in.
Yeah.
Look at him going back. Look at his nose going. Look, he's going back in.
Yeah, he's looking at you.
A side note to this was the day that I put this up on the computer. My daughter had been my cameraman because I have these tremors. And she's been my cameraman out at the Stanley Hotel.
Oh gosh.
For 3 different visits. So she was upstairs. She has her family here. And I called her downstairs and I said to her, I says, look at this. Tell me what you see. And she looked at it and she says, Dad, I don't think I want to be your cameraman anymore.
Oh my gosh. Clever girl. He's just staring at you.
Yeah. You can see him move there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in his fingers hand move. Yeah,
But now,
Linda, I
now
think so too.
this is on my photos and saved like that. It's not. I think it's as close as possible to being what it was when I first captured it. And I do have the original on a SD card. And, it's just something that you get, and it was like, to me, it was like catching that big muskie, big fish, because because that's what I did for a whole bunch of years. And the thing that led me to it was Gettysburg when I was 10 and that kind of deal. So when something like that happens, it brings validation to you, what you're doing with your time.
Yes.
Except they come so far in between. This isn't something where you just shoot a roll of film and you got 15 different apparitions on there.
I know. I mean, unfortunately not. But then I think the ones that are far and few in between are the like creme de la creme. And it makes what we do all the worthwhile of getting that. Oh,
that little bit.
We worked for this. We're not crazy. And we can't explain it. And like we would share it to other people to see if they could know or let us know. But you could see that one moving.
Now I put that all to the side just to do this business with spirit boxes.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's like, it's another phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's progress in the direction that I'm going, and that's why I love doing what I do.
Yeah.
I do love the spirit boxes. I know what we have used the phone method, whatever you want. I think we just don't have a name for it.
Look at this one. This is a Nanocom SX. This has got a linear and random sweep on it.
Oh, I like it.
And it can go ahead, and you can go ahead, and when you change from the linear, which is all the way across the dial, to the random, and the random, what it does is it has little sensors in there that pick up EMF. And if it picks up any little EMF, what it does is it hesitates on that channel. So that, it's there for a second or two longer, so that you might capture something that way.
Yeah.
But this is Supernatural Link, and this is another family of mine, of people that, this is Katie Stafford. He was Ghost of Morgantown. He just did Devil's Perch. I don't know if you've seen that out there, but he's a wizard. He's one of those guys that does boxes. This was one of his. That's like a mini ink box, and it's actually like a radio, and you have radio sweeps on it. And you got a place for an SD card on it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh wow.
I know I got myself a record player, but it looks like a suitcase. Small, looks like a suitcase. It's kind of like Men in Black kind of thing. There's your suitcase. You're going to open up the front of it and you lift it up and all of a sudden you have a record player. And it does move to it as well. So when I was in the museum last night, I had seen that, people donate artifacts and stuff to the museum. They donated this beautiful book of records, old records. So I'm going to take my radio or my record player with me and bring it over. We're going to play the old records, the old records. We have, and it's, and we're going to leave it playing. Oh, and we'll have recorders on. We always think of, I have a fantastic team. We think of amazing ideas, fresh.
Those are real great triggers.
Absolutely brilliant. The ideas are fresh. We're go-getters, and we dissect everything. And I just think they're amazing. They're brilliant. Like, it's a fun team and it's a hard-working team and a proud team. So looking forward to 25th. It's going to be a sleepover. We will be going live on it. Oh, it's 5 minutes from me, but we'll sleep over anyway.
There's no sleeping involved.
There's no. What we're going to do, what Alan suggested, what we're going to do is we're not staying in the same room. We're going to go to different rooms and sleep.
Yeah.
So I said, let's do a destination fear thing. Let's get a bag, put all the rooms into it, and have each person take it out. None of us want the kitchen area. But Lou said, what room are you going into, Jenny? And I said, whatever room you're going into. Yes. That's how it's rolling on the 25th.
You're gonna have a camera running all night long when you guys lay down.
Yes. Yeah.
Just so you can see them go, the apparitions go over the top of you.
We use outdoor security cameras. Do you? Is that what you guys have got?
We have the security cameras. We have the body camera.
We just run straight video cameras, IR cameras. We don't get any of that real crazy stuff yet. You need a person to do that on full time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they're responsible for reviewing the film too.
Louise is afraid of spiders, and I'm thinking, like, who's going to tap me in the kitchen?
I don't want it. There's no reason to bring up spiders here.
I like spiders. Listen, I don't mind if a spider walks me. I've had a spider on my bedroom for about 2-3 years. I called her Wilma, and now I can't find Wilma anymore. Wilma's gone missing on me.
You probably ate her. You eat 7 spiders in one lifetime. They like the carbon monoxide that
you don't sleep with your mouth open at night, do you, Jenny?
Well,
you probably ate her.
I don't know. I don't sleep long enough. I don't sleep long enough to bloody know. I remember one night I was on my phone, and I have this horrible habit of falling asleep watching my phone, and I watch crap on my phone, Wilma always stayed in her corner, and she had from one wall to the other wall a nice big web. But it's not these pretty webs. It was a dusty, crappy looking web. But I took home and I left it to it. So when someone comes, I open the window so flies can come in and all that crack. So anyway, I woke up one night and the light of my phone lit up and I could see this coming down. And I'm in probably beside my pillow, and I go to blow it back up.
Mission impossible.
And I said, this is my space. Your space is up there. Let's not kind of do it together. You're not staying in my place. Louise, Eric is going to say the same thing, totally, about picking the names out. Nobody wants the kitchen, but we want to put Alan into the boat. What else? And I probably can't sleep. Lulu, we're not going to sleep. What's this? I love spiders and bugs, snakes. If it moves, I'll touch it.
Parapost, here's something.
Is this Brian? Pareidolia is a tendency for perception to impose a meaningful interpretation on a nebulous stimulus. Okay, where's all the big words coming from?
I'm glad you read that out, Jenny, because I was layman's terms, please.
Usual visuals so that one sees an object who's been eaten the dictionary in Google.
Yeah.
Pattern or meaning where there is none. Who is that? Who is
Copy and paste that.
Parapost is from.
Oh, that's Brian. Oh yeah.
But now that would be like.
I'm still alive.
You see how part of it says there. It says so that one sees.
Yes.
And the only reason that this has been posted is so that numerous people have seen this, and it's not like,
Right.
and if it is pareidolia, so be it. I don't, it doesn't.
It was Briany Whiny Woo. It was
Didn't
Brian.
know you were so intelligent, Brian.
Brian, did you just copy and paste that?
Copy and paste it.
Is Brian from over here, over by you guys, or over here?
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Not his fault.
I'm Canadian, not American. I'm Canadian.
Yeah, but it's not his fault. He always calls me, Jenny, what part of England are you from? And I said, Jenny, we all know I'm from Ireland. And I said, what part of America are you from? He goes, I'm Canadian.
I'm Canadian. Tomato. You all sound the same.
I
get told I'm Australian by the Americans.
Because I am.
Because I
am. What's this? Smart. Oh, Brian. Oh, Jesus, Brian was sorry.
We're going to get in the neck later. You know that, don't you?
I'll have a lot of TNT. I won't care at the time. Sorry, Brian. Mean it.
Sorry,
love you,
Brian.
Put
it in your tail.
So, Greg, I know you have things to do. Can you tell people where they can find you?
Shadowhunters Paranormal Investigations and Event page on Facebook. That's pretty much where I am.
You're
I
right.
have an email. It's GregoryKos1949@gmail.com. And that's the other part.
We never stop. I love that you came on the show. I love how you think. I love how you work. I love your videos. Love your videos. I love your pictures. I think I'd love you to come back on. I love a lot of things.
Okay.
I'd love you to come back on.
Talk for
We'll
hours.
come back on. We'll keep on going back and forth. You know,
Yeah.
come over by me.
Okay,
I'll come
well,
over by you, that kind of thing. And
you will,
bring,
sure.
bring Sarah along.
Oh,
Sarah,
thank you.
And we get
It's been a
Nando
blast.
over with us as well. Bless his heart. Yes, Ireland's not part of the UK.
I want to go ahead and say thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Oh, thank you so
guys,
much.
You guys are awesome.
Oh.
You do such a great job, Jen, and
Oh,
Sarah's a very, very wonderful addition. It's hard to beat you, but I mean somehow, you know, you've got some competition there, lady.
Nah, we have a lot of fun.
No, I'm just.
I know he's taking the we call it. He's taking the best. He's taking the best. Jenny's in love. I am. Jenny's in love. I think I have my dryer on, and I'm thinking, did my children put the dryer on? Who are they? Who took them over? Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Linda, it's nice you got your swim fins out. Greg?
Had a good crowd, that's for sure. Had a lot of great people here. A lot of great people.
Brian's still reeling.
Great ideas. Is not the States.
Brian is still reeling because we said it. We said it.
I'm not American. I'm Canadian.
I can hear him in the background. I get it. I get it.
As long as Brian's not in Vancouver. As long as he's not in Vancouver.
Oh, he's in Ontario. He's in Ontario, I think, isn't it?
In Ontario?
Yes.
Okay.
Ontario. Yeah.
That's where I fish. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, 2 seconds ticket about. Jesus, parents don't get a break. Brian, great talk. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you, my love.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been awesome.
Thanks. A million thank you. It was a great show. Love your video. I'm stoked with your video, and your pictures are just second to none. They're amazing, and this is kind of the fantastic creme de la creme pictures and videos that you want to see. Love them. I love them. I do love them. And the next one we'll do audio and EVPs and whatnot. That's my job.
I'll try to find some other ones that are stuck in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Who knows what I got?
Let me see. I'm looking through this here. Oh, I cannot see without my glasses. Oh my! Am I getting to that point in my life? I cannot see without my glasses. It's crazy. But I'm going to bring us in the background. Everyone, again, thank you so much for always watching, commenting, liking, sharing, getting involved with your questions and so on. I think myself, Nando, and Sarah shall be back on next Saturday night with our new show, Untold Experiences. Yeah. And next week's topic is going to be the dark side of the paranormal.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I know. It's Jenny's field, Sarah's field.
So Sarah, say hello to Nando for me, okay?
I will. He's on location tonight, so
tell him I said to say hello to your old man. See what he
will
says.
do.
Okay, guys.
Right, guys. Thank you so much for being in the background. A million thank yous. I'll talk to you later, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
We'll see you guys.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.